Let's do this. Really appreciate everyone joining today's webinar, addressing the elephant streaming television. Y'all, this is really an exciting webinar for us because typically these business development monthly webinars, we don't talk about product. We don't. That is just not something that we're really, going through and revealing or unveiling, I should say, in these webinars. So I am really excited about launching this. This is a new product for Adcelerant, addressable streaming television, and we have invited the one and only, our manager of training, the man with the plan, Mr. Jeremy Enders, to join me today. So glad he is here to get into the nitty-gritty and the awesomeness of this product. Please know we are recording this webinar. We will be sending you a follow-up of the deck as well as a link to the recording as well. We also, of course, really want y'all to be as engaged with this from a question standpoint. Any questions that you have as we're kind of going through these slides, and Jeremy's giving us some fantastic intel and insights, please feel free to use that chat or Q&A feature. I will be happy to address the questions as they come about. But we want to be respectful of everyone's time. We know this is a busy time of year. We don't want to waste PST, precious selling time. But this is really a fun webinar, definitely. So my name, I'm Elizabeth Bernberg. I'm the Senior Director of Business Development here at Adcelerant. And there he is, Mr. Jeremy Enders, our Manager of Training. And today we're talking all things about addressable streaming television. A lot of elements about this new product that we recently just launched here at Adcelerant. Video is such a booming solution right now from all aspects of marketing, right? Everyone's getting involved, whether you're on the print side or, of course, broadcast, radio, out of home. Video is king. So we're going to dive into market standings, kind of set the stage, if you will. What does that video landscape look like right now? We'll then get into the meat and potatoes of the actual product. What is it? What does it do? How can you start really talking to your clients about this solution and, think about perfect opportunities, to start having these deeper discussions with your client about addressable video. Maybe it's for a conquesting campaign. Maybe it's for a little bit more of a strategic and granular targeting campaign. This solution is going to be perfect for you. We'll then wrap it up with some opportunities. Where are people spending the money when it comes to this particular product? I believe there's a case study too in this deck. And of course, Q&A always. Can't start a webinar without little overview of Adcelerant, and we know that there are lots of our amazing partners on this webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. So I apologize that this is repetition, but for those of you who are new to Adcelerant, definitely want to be sure we give you that high-level overview, who we are, what we're all about. So Adcelerant is a technology and digital marketing company, and our goal, our war cry, if you will, our tour de force, is to make the complexities within the digital marketing space simple. And that's through our best-in-class proprietary technology and software, our award-winning customer service, expert education, tip of the hat to you, Jeremy, and our amazing support. So that's who we are in a nutshell, but we're based here in Denver, Colorado. We've got an amazing team of about 200 people. We don't outsource anything. We are a white label digital partner or a private label digital partner, and we offer the full gamut of digital products and solutions. So again, like I said, we never really talk about product on these business development webinars, right? But this one is so incredibly unique and special. But we offer the full suite of solutions, all things programmatic, SEO, SEM, email, web dev, you name it. The technology of our proprietary tech suite really does set us apart. It's homegrown. It oversees the entire digital sales process. We're incredibly proud of what our engineers have created to make digital easy for our partners and accessible for their SMBs. We've got some, amazing kudos, and it really goes to the fact that our partners are rocking it day in and day out in their marketplace and supporting their local SMBs. We've been on the Inc. magazine's top 5,000 fastest growing companies 6 years in a row, 6 years in a row. We're incredibly humbled and honored by that. But love what we're doing. Love the fact that our partners are seeing great revenue lift. Their clients are seeing great ROI and engagement from customers. This is a win-win. So you'll be able to check out our culture and some other kudos and accolades right there. Of course, the products of what we really focus on from a platform standpoint, everything I just mentioned earlier, but we're really here to lock arms with our partners. I want to just say any potential, people who have not heard about Adcellerant, if you're interested in learning more, definitely reach out to me. Would love to connect with you. And those partners on the line, especially when we talk about addressable streaming television, please reach out to your account manager, your dedicated account manager and account coordinator if you want to take a deeper dive into this product, start brainstorming some solutions. So let's get into it. All right. We did that. Okay. Current market standings. Okay. So what does that mean? Many of y'all have seen a lot of these stats before. These aren't surprises, but it's incredibly important to really consistently be aware about the growth segment in local media and what that means in terms of digital solutions and where people are spending their money. So the growth, as we see here, listing sites, right? That goes back to your local SEO, video and OTT, targeted banners, paid search. So today's conversation, we're focusing on one of those 4 key products that have that continuous growth right now in local media. So streaming television and the future, how is this impacting what we're doing with video content and how we're spending our time with video content and where we're accessing this? We love eMarketer, love the data here. This is really insightful. The one here on the left, average time spent per day with digital video versus TV. And I'm a former broadcast gal myself. This is, just the data that we have here. But I tell you, it's enlightening to see where that time is spent. It's increasingly growing on the digital video side and continuing to decrease, right, on that traditional side. There's still 100% value. You've got to still have an omni-channel and multi-pronged approach when it comes to marketing, but you also want to be sure that you are leaning into those products that are garnering the larger share of that time spent, right? And that is video. Connected TV ad spend, huge growth. And of course, the catalyst, as we all know, COVID-19, the pandemic, that just, changed the landscape for video marketing overnight and incrementally. But when we look at 2027, so practically a hop, skip, and a jump from where we are today, over $40 billion to be spent in connected television, video, digital video marketing. All right. So the state of streaming television, and this is actually from the chart of the week from Burrell and Associates. There's just some fantastic information here about, the opportunities. So this is actually telling you that 70% right now of local ad buyers, they're not buying any video advertising. So what does that mean? That's money right there. That's an opportunity. That's new business. That's new revenue that you all can be tapping into, right? And those that are buying video, 30%, they're buying OTT, but not broadcast television. They're buying spots on OTT. They're 43% are buying broadcast TV spots only. So you see that breakdown within that 30% pie. So this just means the environment is totally perfect, right, to maximize revenue in terms of streaming television. Okay, I'm done talking. Enough from Elizabeth right now. Let's turn the mic over to Jeremy, making streaming TV more competitive, What is addressable streaming TV? Jeremy, thank you so much for joining us. Take it away.
Thank you for having me. And as you saw on those previous slides, we are kind of in a pivotal moment. COVID-19 really sped up the adoption of digital technologies, probably fast forwarding 5 years from what it usually would have taken to get to where we are now. And you see that on those charts, the split and the growth of digital technologies is it's huge, and we want to keep you at the forefront of those changes because the digital side of things is also evolving. I mean, heck, every year we have to add another bar to one of those charts because there's a new product or a new kind of repackaging of some kind of product out there as the digital space changes, and we want to keep you at the forefront of that. So with that, we are bringing you something called Addressable Streaming TV. So what does that mean? So these are TV size devices receiving your ads during professionally produced content, but also paired with micro-targeting that can target people based on where they've been in the past, a list of addresses that you provide, or interests or demographics. So what this means is you can target people based on, very, very specific metrics, but send them ads of streaming TV on their big screen televisions. We're not talking about phones or computers. We're talking about big screen devices. And the reason that matters is because the difference between the same exact ad appearing on a small screen, a phone or a computer versus a large screen is massive. The impact of the impression that ad leaves on the viewer is way deeper after just one view compared to seeing the same exact ad on a small screen device, and it lasts longer. So here are the kinds of targeting options we can pair with streaming TV. So we can target people based on where they have been in the past. Let me give you an example. If you're, let's say, working with an advertiser that sells furniture, right? And they want to target other people that are trying to buy furniture and maybe they've walked into their competitors' stores. You can now do that with addressable streaming TV. You can send your ads that are designed specifically to be the best of targeting that kind of brand awareness, top of the sales funnel sort of audience, and only spend ad dollars on people that have walked into your rivals' stores, the other furniture stores in your area. That's super powerful. You're not wasting any ad dollars on someone that hasn't done that very specific thing. That is the power of addressable streaming TV. We also have targeting people by their demographics and their interests. If that's kind of the medium you've chosen to really be the qualifier of your best target audiences, you can now target your streaming TV ads to that specific audience and know that those ads are only going to appear on large screen devices. So you're getting the biggest bang for your buck there. You can also finally combine a custom list of residential addresses. I want to be clear, this is only kind of lists of customers and things like this. This would not be, business addresses like rivals or something like that. This is probably a list of customers you have, but you can provide that to us and we will only send ads to those households. You're not wasting any ad dollars on kind of their neighbors or anything like that. You're only sending ads to that specific list, which is ultra powerful.
That is so exciting right there. My favorite, these are all amazing options, right? With addressable streaming television, that custom list. Think about it for the publishers that are on the line, right? Or those of you that have a CRM database, maybe it's from contesting or event promotions that you've put on. Think about all of that information and physical addresses that you have, right? We can reverse engineer that into an addressable streaming television campaign. That's your first party data. That is a killer way to then put your advertiser's video message by leaning into your subscription list, your subscriber list, your event list. So a lot of fantastic and really cool ways to leverage that technology when it comes to video with addressable streaming TV.
Right. Streaming TV has never really had this level of micro-targeting granularity options to it. It's been usually kind of a larger area option. So
Yep.
to catch people up with anyone that isn't familiar with large screen only streaming TV, or this is sometimes called CTV or OTT. Large screen only means that we're targeting devices that are either smart TVs. So, this is literally a big TV in a living room somewhere that is enabled to stream to. Or it can be any other TV, it doesn't have to be a smart TV, that simply has a streaming puck, stick, or dongle plugged into it. So these are things like Amazon Fire Sticks, Chromecasts, Rokus, what have you. It also includes gaming consoles such as PlayStations or Xboxes that are just plugged into your TV. So but the point is, these are large screen devices. These are devices that with one impression, with a single ad, you can capture a whole family or a whole party. In fact, in our office, we've got a TV going all the time, and ads that appear on that, you can get up to a dozen sets of eyeballs seeing that TV playing ads. And that's just with one impression, which is kind of one of the biggest, most powerful reasons to advertise on large screen only devices.
Absolutely.
Quality also really, really matters. And this is not unique to this product with Adcelerant. We do this with everything we sell, everything we market. All of our targeting has the most premium targeting, the most premium site list we can get. But just to get a little specific here on what we're bringing to you with addressable streaming TV is, here's a plethora of names we've got Fox, CNN, NBC, CBS, Discovery Channel, Vice, The Chive, various sports networks, Univision, all kinds of networks. These are where your ads are going to appear when they're being served on addressable streaming TV. There are no compromises. You don't have to worry about, maybe getting on networks you're not familiar with, you've never heard, you don't want to be associated with. We make sure that quality is not an issue when you advertise with us. So just to bring everything we've said in the last couple slides into one point, basically, streaming TV by itself, addressable or not, is one of the most, if not the most powerful version of brand awareness you can get in the digital advertising world, period. We're taking that power of the awesome streaming TV experience with premium quality. This is only serving during shows you know and love, professionally produced shows, maybe movies, depending on the network you're watching. But this is professional content. We're not talking about, amateur, content on YouTube or anything like that. Your brand is associated with that premium content. And there is an element of that kind of like, hey, mom, I'm on TV. Look at me. That comes with a lot of clout associating your brand or the brand of your advertiser with being on TV in between your favorite shows or movies, right? We're combining all of that with micro-targeting. Like I said, only targeting people on your list of past customers, or however, you have a list of folks you would like to target, only targeting people that have visited your rival stores. Or it doesn't even necessarily have to be your rival stores. You could select any kind of other businesses you want to target that are maybe, tangentially related to what you do. Maybe you've got a kind of outdoors related store where you sell a variety of outdoors related gear. Winter is coming slowly but surely. Maybe you sell all kinds of stuff for winter, skiing equipment, hiking equipment, etc. And you want to target other stores that are just catering to one of those audiences. So you target all the winter equipment stuff. Maybe you target all the skiing areas in your state, your vicinity. You can just get so specific with this. It unlocks just a whole nother world when it comes to that top tier premium level brand awareness targeting. So you can maximize the spend on your dollar and get very surgical with your targeting there. Also,
oh,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, all right. Me, okay. I would add too, y'all. While the efficiency in the micro targeting here, I mean, is unparalleled. Like this is phenomenal stuff. We're talking about surgical and scalpel and getting really specific. It's also important to note that this is also not a silver bullet. So if your client is saying, well, this is addressable streaming only, we've got to make sure that we're looking at the big picture too, right? Because this is still, it's still a branding and awareness solution. This is still top of the funnel. It is qualified. Absolutely. We're reducing and minimizing any noise, right? Because it is so specific. We have that micro targeting, but there's not a silver bullet for any sort of media. So you want to be sure that you're complementing your broadcast, your print, your radio, your out of home, whatever it is, with these other solutions. So it continues to drive that consumer down that sales journey, right? We cannot stress that enough. The multi-channel, the omni-channel approach, it is alive and well. So while clients might be getting, oh, I can get so specific and I'm going to start adjusting on my marketing budget. No way. This is meant to enhance what you're already doing. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, think of that pairing, whatever your core product is, maybe, it's print, maybe it's TV, maybe it's radio, pairing this with that, targeting that audience you can serve, but also extending that audience reach, maybe beyond what your core product it usually reaches, and complementing that with this kind of targeting that is so strategic, so surgical. It's an excellent, unbeatable sales pitch. People love it. And by the way, we haven't even talked about the reporting yet. We will get to that in a minute. So here's kind of your, just to top it off, your advantage when you're talking about addressable streaming TV, maybe pitching it to a client, or maybe you're thinking of, does this complement what I'm talking about with my core product, right? Like I said, the same exact ad being on a small screen like a computer or a phone is so much more impactful when it's depicted on this big TV. You can get multiple impressions with the same, multiple views from different people with the same impression, and that impact of one ad lasts longer and goes deeper. They have a better perception of your brand even when they saw the same ad on a mobile device. So this is a huge deal that you get that large screen only targeting with that micro targeting. So it's also a brand safe environment. You don't have to worry about anything like that. We've already talked about our excellent inventory. And if you already have creative, this is a no-brainer to pitch. If they already have your advertiser, or maybe you've even produced video content for this advertiser, perfect. Talk to them about this. Because the thing is, this is so new. People don't even know they can do this. They don't even realize the opportunities you can present them. And they're going to be blown away, especially if they've already got the video content ready to go. It's perfect. It's a low barrier to entry as well, with only 20,000 impressions per month as kind of the minimum, making this very achievable for pretty much anybody, regardless of budget. Plus, you can talk to them about, we're maximizing that budget by making sure your ads only go to the right households and skipping over the ones that aren't relevant to your campaign, maximizing that ROI. So reporting, we've got a lot of cool stuff here, because even if you're on this call and you know what streaming TV is, you've pitched it in the past, etc., we all know that kind of the Achilles heel of streaming TV until now was reporting. Not that the reporting was bad. You get reporting with streaming TV, but it was pretty basic and very similar all the time. As long as you're running on a good premium inventory, you're always going to have a pretty good completion rate. Your numbers are going to kind of look the same, and there's not a lot that you can extract from streaming TV reporting. That is different with addressable streaming TV. So first of all, even before you close the deal, even before you get to the pitch, we're already providing reporting for you. So let's go back to that example I talked about at the very beginning about, let's say you're a furniture store and you're trying to target other furniture stores in your area, kind of target rivals and visitors to them and poach those prospective customers. We have something called the Audience Insight Report. What this does is we'll target those furniture stores in the area, but we also have reporting on our side of what those kinds of visitors to those furniture stores look like. And sometimes that matches kind of the target audience you had in mind. And sometimes you learn something about what your ideal target audience looks like. And this is all before the pitch. You can pull this before the pitch. You don't have to run a campaign or anything like that. You don't have to wait 30 days for reporting. Before the pitch, you can pull this report for that furniture store only campaign or whatever campaign you're trying to pull, and know exactly who you're pitching to and talk to your prospect or your client about, hey, we're targeting these furniture stores and this is what that kind of looks like on a demographic level, on an interest level, on an age level, breakdown of are they parents, are they not? All these kinds of insights so you can have a much more informed, much more in control conversation when you're talking to your client. Also, we've got something called foot traffic attribution, and we'll go ahead to the next slide here. Talk about this. So we have reporting, as you know and love, with streaming TV. So if you've seen streaming TV before, I want to be clear, you're not losing any of that. You're going to keep that reporting that you know and love, and we usually get a 95% completion rate or something around there. It's excellent, which means 95% of people viewed the entire ad to completion. But let's go to the next slide for the good stuff. Foot traffic attribution report. For those of you that don't know what this is, it's also called FTA. What this means is after someone saw your addressable streaming TV ad on their TV, if they physically walk into your store, we can track that and attribute that to your campaign. Meaning they saw your ad and then it doesn't have to be instant. It can be, up to 30 days later. They walked into a store. We will count that as, oh, they saw our ad and then they went into your store eventually. That was part of this campaign. So you get attribution. You get the credit. How's that? You don't normally get that with something like streaming TV, but now with addressable streaming TV, you can. And by the way, clients love it. They eat that up. Next slide. That's not it. We also have matchback reporting. So this is especially good for automotive or kind of those big sale items, maybe a furniture store, where basically what this is as the campaign is running, you provide us a list of your sales, what who those people were that bought, since we started the campaign. We take that back, compare it with the targeting data we've served, and we will provide you a report of all the people that bought from you that saw your ads, saw your addressable streaming TV ads. That is huge and just gets you that much more credit when you're running these campaigns. Because listen, in streaming TV, this is happening anyway, but now with addressable streaming TV, you can get the credit. And that's always good. We want the credit, right?
We love it.
Right. It's always good. It's always good to get the credit for what you do.
Question for you, Jeremy, because we've got a few questions here that are coming in, and I love it. So I wanted to maybe just address some of these real quick.
Yes.
Someone had asked, all right, please explain targeting certain demos on your slide that showed some of the platforms you show up on, like Fox and CBS. What if the demos you're targeting are not watching those listed?
That's a great question. So we have a premium list of inventory like we've talked about earlier, but that list is so large, the viewership is so large that no matter what kind of mixture of demographics or your custom audience list you've sent to us, interests, etc., we're going to target them no matter what they watch, which is kind of the beauty of this system. We're not targeting, let's say, we have advertisers do this all the time. They come to us and they say, yeah, I only want to target people that watch the Golf Network or something like that. okay, we're going to go one step further. We're just going to target people that like golf, and we'll send ads to them no matter what they watch. So sometimes they're watching the Golf Network, sure, but then they'll go to, somewhere else. They'll watch their favorite, news programming. Then they'll watch, movies or some kind of more entertainment focused thing. So we go one step further so that the inventory is so wide that we can just capture whoever we want to capture, whoever you're trying to target, no matter what they're watching and no matter when they're watching. Because sure, golf people like the Golf Network, of course, but they're also human and have more than one interest and will watch other things as well. So.
No, thank you, Jeremy. And that was a great question. I think it's also important to remember that, from an ad ops and campaign management standpoint here at AdCellerant, our internal campaign managers, they're all AdCellerant employees here, amazing people. They are actually spending time, weekly, monthly, looking at campaign delivery, looking at how we are pacing in terms of fulfilling those ad impressions on those target demographics or those target interests. If there's anything that they need to, maybe adjust or optimize, they will. And if we're seeing any sort of, for this particular question, if we're not delivering really well on a demo, we're going to be reaching out proactively to our partners to figure out, all right, maybe we need to expand the demo. Maybe we need to add in some additional interest. Maybe we need to expand our geo. We want to have that open communication so there is a successful campaign that's based on data, right? And that's kind of helping us make the best decisions possible for your advertiser.
Excellent. I've also got a great question here. Does the custom list of residential addresses, is there a minimum amount you need to reach with that? And that is a great point. Yes, there is. We need to have at least 5,000 addresses in there. So that's very important for you and us, because we need to have at least that much for compliance reasons. If you go below that, you can violate some privacy laws, as well as, honestly, for performance reasons. You don't want an audience that's like too tiny so that there's not enough inventory. They're not literally watching enough streaming TV for us to serve all the ads that you've bought and maximize the frequency of your ads. And more frequency equals more ROI. So it's kind of a two-way street there, but great question.
I know, I love these questions. So Lauren Phillips also asked too about, let's see, how is this actually working, right?
Yeah.
So it definitely is still tapping into some location-based data. Jeremy, do you want to kind of highlight, some additional elements as to how this all, addressable, right? How it all kind of comes to fruition?
Yeah, let's talk about the addressable and addressable streaming TV. It's a great question. So as you can see with, the foot traffic attribution targeting, the match back reporting, the where have you been in the past situations, we are utilizing location data as well. So what we're doing is we are watching people's phones and seeing where they've been in the past, but also where they tend to live. How do you know that? Well, where does this phone device tend to be between the hours of midnight and 4 a.m. on a consistent basis? We realize that, this person that has been to a furniture store in the past, it lives here. This is a home that we can then serve streaming TV ads to. So that way we kind of get the best of both worlds. And we're targeting based on where they were, so location data, but to a TV, which obviously you don't lug a TV around when you're furniture shopping or going around. So that's how we can kind of get the best of both worlds here. And again, get that micro targeting with that streaming TV excellent brand awareness play there. So that's how it works, kind of in a nutshell.
Absolutely. Love it. We'll get back to some of these other questions. Y'all keep them coming. This is fantastic. I'll also continue to answer on the back end. Jeremy, continue to do your thing. Let's rock.
Yeah. So just to cap here, you've showed this slide for a little bit, but in case you haven't read it, we've got all kinds of day parting, frequency, in place to maximize your frequency, but also cap your frequency. So you're not seeing the same ad like 3 times in a row. No one wants that. That's not good for the brand. We make sure none of that happens. We also have anti-ad fraud teams in place to make sure that none of your ads are going to bots or anything like that. But yes, E is on top of things. Let's talk about this case study.
I'm so sorry. I'm getting click happy here. I'm
I know.
so sorry.
She's so excited about addressable streaming TV.
Real estate.
Real estate. So we have a case study for this. It ran for 3 months, and this is kind of an interesting need for this advertiser that really demonstrates the power of this kind of product. So this was an investment group that was looking for homeowners to sell their homes to the investment group at a certain rate. But obviously, you know, it would have been very expensive and very inefficient if they just kind of blanket covered entire swaths of their city or their state in targeting. You know, is just cost prohibitive. So addressable streaming TV came into the play. We used it to target only households that would be excited about this kind of service because they had a list of addresses from their side. The advertiser provided this list of addresses of households that might be willing to sell, you know, based on a million things, the length they've owned the home, the age of the home, et cetera, et cetera. Then we combined this with another play, which was we used that audience insight report to then complement that targeting by targeting the same demographics that their custom list had. So we kind of had 2 campaigns with 2 slightly different targetings going on at the same time, and we used that through the audience insight report, which was really fantastic. And the results speak for themselves. They got a 55 return on investment after they invested, you know, a comparatively low amount of money and closed over $140,000 in revenue with this campaign. They were so impressed, they definitely renewed and continued the campaign. So that's a great example of not just using addressable streaming TV, but using the tools of addressable streaming TV to maximize your campaign here. There's also some industries that do that really work well with this kind of targeting and the tools that now you have to pitch with addressable streaming TV. So political is coming up in the top right there. Political has already started for some of you, depending on, you know, where you are, what state you're in. So this allows you to target, you know, districts, voting locations, voters' addresses if you have a list of something like this. Professional service like financial service, legal service, insurance that really need like a specific person in a specific stage of life or has been to a specific place, jewelry, watches, therapeutic equipment and luggage, etc. This allows you to just dive in to cutting through the market and just getting the people that, you know, are in the market for jewelry, for example, or something super specific. Travel, something I've had a client do is they targeted people that have been to resorts similar to theirs in other states, but then used addressable streaming TV to only target them when they came in to their metro area. So they knew they were avid travelers, they knew they liked their kind of resort, but then only served them ads when they were in you know, their metro area, either as a tourist or they just lived there, which was super successful. So as you can see, all kinds of stuff. This unlocks just a whole nother world. Plus you combine this with the excellent targeting of the brand awareness you get with large screen streaming TV, and it's just an incredible offering.
And I think the timing, Jeremy, you're just awesome. I love this product. I love the way you talk through it because it can be confusing, right? Like this can be a really kind of convoluted and overwhelming type of product. And I really just appreciated you kind of walking through it in a digestible way. I mean, I've been in the digital space for a long time and you just always tend to make these things really crystal clear. So thank you. And we still are getting some amazing questions coming in. Love it. Y'all. Great. Keep them coming. love this one here. How far back can a conversion be tracked?
Yes, and I see you later corrected yourself and said meaning foot traffic attribution. How far back can foot traffic attribution be tracked? So that timer starts when the campaign starts. So as long as they walked into your advertiser's doors during the campaign, then we get the credit in the campaign, and obviously they can have only viewed an ad since the campaign started. So I hope that answers your questions. If not, please follow up. We'll be happy to clarify.
Awesome. What else do we have here?
So this is a good question, and I want to clarify at this point. So the question is, how are your ads landing on gaming consoles? I have yet to see ads come up that are not coming from Microsoft on Xbox, Sony on PlayStation, or Nintendo on Nintendo Switch. This is a good question. I want to be clear. The ads are only being sent while you're watching streamed TV or streamed movies. This could be through a variety of networks, as you saw in our inventory page with all those logos. So you could be watching through Roku. You could be watching through just straight up. There's like an app for CNN. You could be watching the CNN app. There's a variety of ways you can kind of get to the streaming content, the streaming TV show, the streaming movie. But as long as you're kind of watching that, our point about the gaming console was the gaming console will allow a regular non-smart TV to watch that content.
It's the delivery mechanism.
It's the delivery mechanism, exactly. But you're right. It's not going to show up on your like Xbox dashboard homepage. You have to be watching a streaming professional content of some sort to receive these ads. That's a great question, and that applies for the Roku, the Fire Stick, the Chromecast, Pug, whatever. That's how the technology works. It's only during those streaming TV content moments.
Here's one, and I love this because we are tracking this on the display side. So, Jeremy, I'm going to lean on you, my friend, to speak to us. To speak to it on the addressable streaming TV side. Is there a way to track whether someone viewed the ad and then visited a company's website rather than visiting a physical store? 100%, we offer that as a view through conversion or a post impression conversion with display. Absolutely, with other video components, that's even available in your reporting dashboard. On the addressable streaming television side, Jeremy, is that still a factor at play?
Sure. So the short answer is no. The long answer is technically yes. However, most of these devices, most of these channels, you're watching through an app, you're watching through your Xbox, whatever, they usually don't allow you to click on the ad because you're watching on a TV. You are not watching on like a computer or a mobile phone, and thus the route to go from watching on a TV to like a website is just so broken and convoluted, and the TVs aren't really designed to do it these days. So could you do this? Could you add a link to track it? Sure, absolutely. But very, 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 very few people will be allowed to even click on the ad. If you want to track conversions, what we recommend is putting a QR code in the ad and leaving that QR code up for a long time. It can't just show up for 1 second at the end. It's got to be up there for a while so people can, fumble through their pockets and get out their phone and actually get the picture out. That's probably the best way to like get a conversion. But really, the addressable streaming TV or any streaming TV, they are there for that brand awareness, that top of level, getting the word out there that you exist and here's what you're about. Not so much conversions. So hope that answers your question. Is it possible? Technically, yes. Is it practical? No. We've done experiments, and honestly, like less than 1% of campaigns have like any clicks. It's just a fraction of a fraction. So yeah, QR codes is what you want to do if you want to let that option be available.
Let's see. Awesome. You want to grab that? There's another one here too. You want to take it? We've got a couple more. Keep sending them in.
let's see. How long, this is a good question. How long after someone is initially flagged as a target will they continue to receive streaming TV ads? So there's two sides to this. It's when, like the furniture store example, where we're targeting people that have walked into a rival furniture store. You set a time frame for looking back at those furniture stores, up to as far as a year ago. So if that's what you mean, where it's like how long would we look at that furniture store? It's up to you. You set that up to 12 months back, from basically this week, not necessarily today, but like nearly today. So you can look at if there's, I love to do this if we're kind of about to reach a season, like we're about to go into Q4, right? Let's look at, or maybe Halloween's coming up. Maybe you've got some Halloween promotion. You can, because we haven't hit Halloween yet, we haven't hit October yet, you could now target people that entered stores just in the month of October last year. And there you go. That's your Halloween audience, and you can target that with addressable streaming TV. So there's a lot of fun kind of seasonality plays you can do with this addressable streaming TV option. As far as how long they stay in your campaign, we do for something like that, if we will target that audience, because that's a target you've told us to target forever. Like if you said furniture stores in October last year, that's what we'll keep doing. If it's something more like interest or something like that, that does get cycled out every so often. I want to say it's like every month or 2 months that gets refreshed, something around there, but it does get refreshed at a regular pace. Let's see. I don't have a game console, but I do stream content through my DVD player. Would ads get delivered through that device as well? Absolutely. The answer is, as long as it can stream, premium TV and movies, and it plugs into your TV, that qualifies as an addressable streaming TV. So it's probably best defined as what it isn't, which is basically a computer, a tablet, a mobile phone, anything like that that's not like remotely a TV. No one in the right mind would classify those as TVs. That doesn't count. But anything that could possibly like really plug into a TV, and the TV is like the main source of entertainment, that counts. So DVD would definitely count as long as it's connected to the internet and can stream.
Right.
There's a question of what's a minimum size it takes to qualify it as a large screen device. It's not really the size. You could have a small TV. It really is, what is the device? Is it a TV first and foremost, or is it actually like a laptop or a computer? That's the designation. So the physical size doesn't really count, but most TVs are larger than a laptop, for example. So that's kind of the differentiation there.
Awesome. Let's see.
This is a great question that advertisers always ask, and it's a good one. Savvy ones will ask this. How many impressions can be served on each large screen device each month? Is there a limit? So there's not a total limit per se, but there is a frequency limit. Remember, we have a system in place that makes sure that we don't send ads back to back to back. You see the same exact ad like 2 or 3 times in a row. That's a terrible experience for everybody. It's a waste of impressions, and the consumer starts to hate your brand because they're tired of seeing you so often. So we have systems in place to keep that from happening. As far as how many times, like per month or something like that, we certainly can put something like that in place, but we don't automatically have anything solid, because a lot of people, frankly, want to maximize that number, because the frequency of the same person seeing the same ad, as long as it's not back to back to back, is strongly correlated with getting them to take action and getting up and converting or looking up your website or whatnot.
Great question. We've got one here too. Let's see. Do you see the most success by using a combination of different targeting methods or focusing on a singular targeting method? I'm going to answer this kind of twofold. And then Jeremy, I'd love to get your feedback on this too. Definitely depends on number one or the type of advertiser, right? Who is the advertiser? What are they trying to achieve from a branding and awareness standpoint? Are they new to the market? Has maybe a new entrant to the market kind of disrupted their business, and they're wanting to make sure that they have a lot more visibility? Like, what are they trying to achieve here by running addressable streaming television as a component in their marketing strategy? So with that, I'd want it to be broad, right? Let's get some demo targeting and a specific market service area, and let's hit that audience hard. But if you are thinking about, like, the political example, I think is great. Specific districts, right? Or specific neighborhoods, maybe older neighborhoods that need new roofs, right? You might want to get a little bit more specific geographical zoned area, and start serving ads specifically to those places. Because if we just did interests, you could be tapping into someone who's way out of your service area, and that might not be, it could be new business for your client, but it might not be as relevant for them as someone in their backyard and really owning the business in their local neighborhood. So kind of, again, both sides of the coin. We'd want to make sure we're looking at what the client's trying to achieve, why they're leaning towards addressable streaming television, and then position the appropriate targeting tactics based on what those goals and objectives are.
Yep, I agree. It really boils down to the specifics of the campaign, especially if you've got like a tiny audience versus a super large audience. That will change a lot of things. If you've got a tiny audience, I would just pick one, because at the end of the day, you want to maximize frequency. That's the name of the game. If someone sees your ad like once a month, that is a waste of money, right? So you don't want to spread too thin. So if you've got the combination of budget and audience, but if you've got a big enough audience, if you've got a big enough budget to spread some impressions around, I totally agree with E here. You want to omni-channel is always the best tactic in like any scenario, as long as you can get enough frequency in each channel, which requires a certain budget to do that. So if you have questions and you're already a partner with us, we've got account managers that will dig into that every specific scenario you need. That they are on call. They are here for that all the time. Not on call 24/7. Just to be clear. They sleep. We let them sleep sometimes. But yeah, that's what they're there for, to dig into the nitty gritty of each situation and get that right, performance to omni-channel kind of approach. But excellent question. I
think we've got maybe a time for maybe one more question. And I definitely want to say, any others that are here, please feel free to reach out to myself and or to Jeremy. Happy to take a deeper dive into this product, into Adcellerant, what's happening on the back end, take a look at the reporting side. We definitely would love to speak to you. Again, I just want to be respectful of everyone's time. Rock and roll. Jeremy, high five, my friend. This was a really good one. Boom. Thank you all for joining. Recording will be coming, as well as a deck. Elizabeth Bernberg here. Please reach out to me. Again, Jeremy Enders, Manager of Training. Couldn't do what we do without you. Thanks so much, you all, and have a great day.
Thanks all. Have a great week. Bye-bye.